Neville has written about it several times in several of his books, but I rarely see anyone performing it, even though it's an incredibly easy way to live in the end of your desire. I'm sure many of us have imaginary conversations in our heads, whether they're arguments, things we'd like to say to people, repeating old conversations, fantasizing about confronting someone, etc. I find I have them every day. But when I say imaginary conversations, I don't mean fake ones. Remember, what's in our heads is just as real as what's in the world. Everything comes from within. When we imagine, we create. Keeping tabs on these internal conversations is a mandatory part of having a strong mental diet. Instead of imagining confronting your boss for not paying you enough, imagine your boss going to get you a promotion and a raise. Instead of playing out a sad old conversation with your SP in your head, imagine waking up next to him and telling him how fantastic everything, and him telling you how joyful he feels with you. Instead of fantasizing about telling your boyfriend everything that's been bothering you lately, imagine telling him how excited you are to have that dream car you've always wanted. In Chapter 7, Attitude, of the book, The Power of Awareness, Neville talks about a woman whom he helped with this small act of inner conversation. It was a story about a costume designer who was having trouble with one of her producers. Neville suspected that she was probably having some mental conversations with him, and he was right. She admitted that she constantly had arguments with him in her mind and how he never appreciated her. Every time she had one of these mental conversations, she thought the producer was being rude. Unsurprisingly, that's how he behaved towards her whenever she showed up for work. However, with Neville's advice, the woman ended these argumentative internal conversations and imagined the producer congratulating her on her work and she thanking him for his praise. After some time, it worked. The producer began to be much kinder to her and was no longer difficult to work with. Others only repeat what we secretly whisper to them. These moments of internal conversation are very powerful as they sometimes evoke very strong feelings in us. We can even get so involved with them that we shut out the rest of the world. This is exactly what you should be doing when you manifest, but we often do it unintentionally. On the plus side, this shows that getting into this state is fairly easy. Unfortunately, in this state, we often focus on negative scenarios. So, the next time you have an imaginary argument on your mind, stop for a second and imagine a friendly stranger telling you that you are beautiful or handsome. Imagine your coworkers telling you that you are efficient. Imagine your friend telling you that you are an amazing painter. Imagine telling your SP that you got promoted at work. It works like a charm. On my journey, my whole attention was placed on thinking about the relationship. I found it difficult to think from the end of having a relationship with my SP. In my inner conversations, I imagined myself flirting or what I would do to get her attention. I did all of this from the state of me being single and assuming that she didn't love me. And the obvious result was that I didn't get my SP. Later, I realized my mistake. Here are some examples of internal conversations I've had since then. I imagine us talking about baby names together. I imagine us sitting in a restaurant on a date and talking about how good the food is and how much fun our wedding would be. Also, these conversations don't always have to be between you and your SP. You can imagine plenty of scenarios, like your friends telling you that you guys are made for each other, your family members saying how lovely you both look together, your coworkers compliment your engagement ring. It can go on and on. Mental conversations are very powerful forms of prayer because they can touch us emotionally. Be wary of negative discussions or conversations. Have the ones that make you happy. Go into these conversations, provided you have your desire, which implies it's done. Accept that whatever you want is yours and that it all comes from within you. You already are what you want to be, and your refusal to believe that is the only reason you don't see it. So, make them lovely. Subscribe if you liked this video. Happy manifesting.